You are now listening to Awaken You with Shelly Bond.
Hello, my lovely friends. We are on the official episode 2, and I'm here in my recording studio, aka my secret escape room, with 3 kiddos out there. And I just felt compelled to hop on here. Yeah, today's one of those freezing days. It was -2 degrees, and I went outside with the kids and we did this experiment that we did a few weeks ago where you take boiling water and you put it in a cup, and then we threw it off of the deck and it goes from liquid into a cloud. Right? I wish I knew all of the scientific reasonings behind it, but it's really cool. And that's how cold it is. And this is just that time of the year where it's really time to hunker down because, right, we can't even do much. We can't really even get out of our house much, or we could get frostbite. But my kids are amazing and they're always willing to get outside. So I'm really grateful for them. And actually, this weekend, we took 3 hours and we went ice skating on a pond with real ice skates. And when I was a little girl, I ice skated for, I would say, a few months. And then I was a coco shell in this ice skating, I don't know what you would call it. It's not the Olympics because the Olympics are happening right now, obviously. I was 8 years old. And it was just like this lovely thing that I was a part of. But anyways, I haven't skated regularly since I was 38. And getting on the ice, especially I'm using hockey skates, is much different. It's really challenging when you're used to the toe pick and then the long edge that comes in the back. And kids are so amazing because they show us so much about how to be brave. That's my new word. I'm switching it from fearless to brave. They're so brave. They get up and try things and they fall and get back up. And then I'm this grown woman kind of teetering around on the ice. But about 20 minutes in, I gained my confidence and was swoosh, swoosh, skating around the ice. It was pretty wonderful. Yeah, it was great to get outside, and I actually got a sunburn and lots of vitamin D, and all the kids got sunburns, which actually makes me smile because I struggle with being an introvert in the winter times, especially in getting outside. It's hard for me, and I'm such this creative, like I make these, if you're watching me on YouTube, malas, right? And so I can sit for hours upon hours and work with my crystals, and I can write for hours. I can stay in my recording studio, aka my lovely closet that I'm so grateful for, that I can get a little peace and quiet when my kids are out there. They're actually recording a Spider-Man movie. They're really cute. My nephew is up here, and I have 4 kiddos here now. And they're like literally recording a movie, and they won't let me come out because they're taking shots and scenes and breaks, and I'm not in the film. It's really adorable. But yeah, this is winter. I read this amazing book last year called Wintering, and I can't remember the author's name, but I could find it out. But it was so good and such this reminder for this time of year to change with the seasons, to sleep more, to go to bed early, to honor yourself, and to be okay with being inside, which can be hard for a lot of us. Like my husband, he went freaking skiing when it was negative, probably 6 this morning. And I thought, you're kind of a lunatic because there's no way in hell I would get out of bed to go skiing in the dark. It sounds terrible. I don't really like outdoor things when it's dark still. I love hiking, but hiking in the dark is a little weird and terrifying, right? Because the unexpected, the beady eyes, you never know. Yeah. Ha ha ha, what's going on with you in your life? Where are you at? I'm just excited to be here on this space, holding space for people, women especially, and just sharing my voice and my message. I have like so many things I want to share, and I just know that showing up here is a part of my journey. And I have been struggling because my book, Awaken You, in song form, From Pain to Healing, A Woman's Way of Waking Up to Her Life. I'm making the audiobook for it, but I've had many trials and tribulations with my recording device. And I'm just like having to be kind and compassionate to myself. And I know that everything happens on its perfect timing. And I'm like this person who I do things in like clusters. So I'll kind of like store everything up and hold it in until I just like, just get it out. So I know that's probably going to happen here. But the trouble is my mic and my sound quality. So I think it's great for this podcast. But when you're recording an audiobook, and I want it to be very professional because I'm going to release it on Audible, which has been like, a dream of mine for like 5 years. Can you believe that? Saying that out loud. I was talking with my sister this morning, and she's having a lot of struggles right now. And I don't love when my sisters struggle, but I am such this like self-help helper. I love any opportunity I can get to listen and then to offer wisdom. And I know a lot of times people are just listening, or they're waiting for someone to just listen for them. Like they want someone to hear their struggles. And then there's me, and I know people come to me because I know the universe is giving me these as like little guideposts and testing me and testing where I'm at. And I think that I do a really good job. Like, right, I wrote this book and I made it a purpose, very purposeful, to like show and lead with heart and story and offer tangible tips and tools. But I do that in my real life. Like my sister's struggling with her husband, which I have off and on also been struggling with my husband. And it's so interesting how our lives are like different, but they're the same. And I have 4 sisters. This is my one sister who's 18 years apart from me. And yeah, it was like I got to be like a self-help coach on the phone, which I loved. And I'm not saying that I know everything, and she knows that, but it was just like this really cool space where she was telling me all of her shit and all of her problems that she's been going through. And I listened and I listened and I listened. And then I was just like, telling her all of the things. And she's like specifically having financial troubles, which, right, how many of us can resonate with having financial troubles? And I have to share this because I'm so freaking excited that I've off and on had financial troubles like my whole life. I was raised one of 5 girls, and my parents split up, and it was just really rough. We were on food stamps. We were on hot lunches. We always had, like, this was the old school Monopoly food stamps that my sisters and I would have to go to the store, and it would be us going, and we'd have to lay down the Monopoly money while they stamped it, and like in shame, like, oh God, everyone's like listening. So talking about this, and I was talking about it with my sister, is so much of her money struggles and even things I struggle with was our programming from when we were little girls, right? All of us have this. We all have a programming of what we think about money. So what I wanted to share is that I just had this like epiphany or awakening, like my book, right? Because that's one of my words of the year is to awaken. I'm awakening to how I think about money. And the way I thought about money for so long was distorted, and money is bad. You have to pinch your pennies. You have to save, blah, 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 all the bullshit that you can think of. And I found, or it found me, this money manifesting meditation. And with it being winter, I've been sleeping a lot and kind of surrendering my meditation time. But about 3 weeks ago, I decided I'm going to start meditating. And this is a guided meditation, so it's a lot easier. So even if the kids are up, I can just plug in my earbuds, go back to bed, like lay in my bed and do my meditation, which is like a great space. That space between when you're just waking up or just falling asleep. It's when this part of our brain, our subconscious brain, is more like open and moldable, malleable. I always think of it like, here, I'm recording on this device. We have this subconscious part of our brain that is recording everything. And especially when we were so vulnerable and little, between in utero to 7, our recorder recorded everything of what we thought about money and relationships and sex and life and our career. And we put these, like, imagine like a rubber band that comes in. Like, I have this like circle in front of me. So I'm saying, like, I'm seeing. So we have this circle, and then we put all these rubber bands that just started squeezing our brain and like confining our brain and making us more limited in the way that we think. And I am also imagining like I'm like chewing off the rubber bands, and they're like popping about what I think about money, because I've been doing this manifesting meditation, and I've also been pairing it with affirmations. And so, right, affirmations are thoughts. Like you say them, maybe you've heard of mantras, affirmations, auto-suggestion. It's all the same. So this is a really cool kind of practice, is just bring your awareness to what do you think about money when money comes up, when it's time to pay the mortgage or rent or whatever, your phone bills, you get a grocery bill, you go out to eat. Is it like tight and constricting, like, oh God, I just spent so much money? Or is it more like expansive? I learned from Louise Hay, author of You Can Heal Your Life and creator of Hay House, like all of my favorite authors. And she was one of the first people who started me out with affirmations and thinking about my thoughts, because I never thought there was anything wrong with my thoughts. Like, what's going on with my thoughts? How can you choose your thoughts? They just play, right? It's just like you push play, you wake up, you go through your day, your thoughts are there. So these affirmations, right? They've literally shifted my life, because the thoughts that we think create our future. So think of that. So the thoughts that you're thinking right now, maybe you're thinking, Shelly, you're crazy. I have no idea what you're talking about. Or maybe you can, throughout the day, just be aware of what you're thinking and ask yourself this question. Do I want this thought to come true? And if you're sitting there worrying, especially when it comes to your finances, about, oh my gosh, I can't pay this bill, okay, blah, 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 blah. Do you want that to come true? And if the answer is no, choose a freaking gun. And it takes time. We've been programmed our whole life to think this certain way about money. But with the help of these meditation practices, and I can definitely share that in the kind of description below of the meditation I've been doing. So I've been doing it for 3 weeks, 15 minutes in the morning, 15 minutes at night, and then just plugging my affirmations in. And I'm definitely a person who has more of that like obsessive, I can't even talk. I can talk. I'm changing my thoughts and noticing. I get like really obsessive and excited about things, which is a great strength and also, I'm sure, a great weakness of mine. And so I go balls out and really hardcore on things. So I listen to my affirmations when I sleep and when I've been practicing yoga in the morning, and even I've been making my kids listen to them, and they think it's so stupid, but I don't care, because if I can help teach them to choose thoughts and abundant thoughts about money, Like, can you imagine how they're growing? Like, they're going to be in the future. And that's what I'm thinking. They're like my test subjects, which I love. It's really wonderful. And I will tell you, my thoughts are shifting about money. So I've been a stay-at-home mama for 4 years, and I just I've been writing and I dabble in this, and I am a creator. I paint pictures, and I've gone through spurts where I can make chunks of money. But I've realized that I put my value and my worth down, or it's been like that. I realize in the last 4 years that I have put my financial burden or strain on my husband. And right, it's not 1930, Shelly, but that's how it's been. I was raised in a house where the father figure made the money, and that's what you're supposed to do. And I worked all the way up until 4 years ago. But now, I realize, I have worth, I have value. I wrote a freaking book. It took me a really long time. I have this freaking book in my hands. And when I look at it and I realize how hard it was, it was such a journey. It was not an easy task. And this book isn't just something I put together and threw out into the world. I did this professionally. I wrote my book, Awaken You. I wrote it with heart. I wrote it with wisdom. I also had beta readers. I had people give me feedback. I wanted to make it understandable from all levels. And it's here. And it just shows me that I am capable of doing any fucking thing that I choose, right? And that comes to money too, switching to that. I am worthy of making money. And the universe has been manifesting or providing. It's been happening. And I have been connecting to women and creating malas. And so I do this. Okay, let's go through the process. So I make a mala, these custom, it's 108 strands with crystals with healing properties for the mind, the body, and soul. And I also do energy work. And so it's so cool because say I get a person who's like, Shelly, can you help me with a custom mala? I would love a custom mala. And I'm like, yeah, okay, what's going on with you? Tell me more about your mental, emotional, physical health, spiritual health. And then, right, they're giving me, say her name was Susie. Susie's giving me I have anxiety. I'm struggling with my weight. I am emotional wreck. I can't focus. I can't concentrate. I have acne. I am holding weight in my butt and my belly, and I'm having a hard time breathing. And I'm not saying that this is to supplement any medical advice or medications. This is just here as a different kind of realm. This is more of a holistic healing approach to think of it as your emotional, mental, and spiritual health, but also it helps with physical health. So anyways, I'm connecting with these people, and then I get to tune into energy work, which I fucking love. And I get to tap into the person's energy, and I'm like, oh goodness, yeah. Oh, we need some help here on the third eye chakra. Oh, your heart is so blocked. That's fine. Let's connect with some crystals. And I'm kind of doing an energy scan with people. And then I get my lovely box of crystals out. And if I don't have everything I need, then yeah, I got to get online. I've got to order what I need, get it back. And I'm so excited because I've just started doing this, and I clear the energy first with RO water, reverse osmosis water. And then I put pink Himalayan salt, and I clear the crystals for 11 minutes because 11 is just this very sacred number for me. And clear the crystals, and then tap back into that person's energy field. And I align and just bring it all together. I'm bringing all of my knowledge and wealth of the crystals and what I intuitively feel. And I've started this awesome journal that I have all of the healing properties of the crystals that I work with. So I can go through and say, oh my gosh, okay, this crystal is really good for anxiety, like labradorite. A magical crystal, which if you're watching this, I got this as a gift. It's so magical. So it's labradorite, and it's literally like a master healer, and it looks like the ocean, but if it's in a certain light, it almost looks like it's black. And so say I'm like, okay, she has anxiety really bad. Let's do labradorite. Or like rose quartz I have here. Rose quartz is this really soft, light pink, gentle energy, and it's really healing for emotional wounds and scars, for the heart chakra. So maybe I would pair those together. But then it's interesting because for the perceptual person, sometimes the colors are kind of off, so I have to go that way. But anyways, okay. There's so many things I have to share. And then I'm making this piece for this lovely person, and with their permission, right, I'm tapping into their energy, creating this, and then I hand string, hand tie, and then I go and I do Reiki energy healing. So I kind of more connect with the person's energy, but healing. But anyways, I'm doing this, and it's so fulfilling and amazing. And then my Venmo account is like, it's building up, and I'm attracting money. It's like I have these talents and skills, and then also I'm realizing that I have this self-worth. I have this worth because I have gifts to share and help people on an energetic and healing and a heart level, and it's amazing. And so, right, I'm on this money manifesting, growing my own self-worth, not just relying on my husband, which I'm so grateful for my husband, and I'm so grateful for all of the abundance and all of the money that we've ever had. But there's still this part of me that wants to be the one who connects with money and who creates the money and not just relies on it from another source. And I know this can sound like, it's so much at first. And part of manifesting money is tapping into gratitude. Gratitude is a practice for anything and everything, for your health, for your wellness, your mental, emotional, physical, spiritual health, and your money health. Because, right, money is something that is taboo, and a lot of us don't talk about it. But how many of us struggle with our money? How many of our fights with our spouse is about money? Like, how many times do you look at your bank account and you, right? Money is something that we need to bring our awareness to in a positive way. We need to shift the way that we think about our money and our financial health. Think of it as your financial health. And I actually wrote this super cool section in my book. I just feel like I sounded like a Valley girl. Not a Valley girl. But it is called the bank of your mind. And so you think of your mind as the bank, your brain. Like if you can take a visualization, what do you put in the bank of your mind? How many positive deposits, meaning how many positive thoughts do you think about money a day? How many positive feelings of thought are you thinking a day? Like how often are you thinking, oh my gosh, I'm so grateful for this money that's coming in, and I'm so grateful to be able to pay these bills. I'm so grateful that I have heat, and like I have propane, I have to fill up the thing. It's quite a bit of money. I'm so grateful that I have that. I'm so grateful to pay for my groceries. Or how many negative withdrawals are you making from your mind? How many times are you like, oh my gosh, I'm not going to make it. It's paycheck to paycheck. We're cutting it close. You're biting your nails. Oh my gosh, I'm going to go in the negative. What is my overdraft fee? Can I make my credit card? Can I defer that? How many negative versus positive deposits and withdrawals are you making in the bank of your mind? And that could be such a powerful practice. And journaling is so healing and helpful because we could start journaling our positive thoughts. We could start writing down. And if you're somebody who likes to write all the yucky stuff down, you could do that. I'm not a huge fan because I kind of want to watch that shit blow away. And you could write down like what your self-limiting beliefs around money are. And then you could do a practice where you like cross it out. You could wad it up, you could tear it up. Or if you have a safe space with like a glass bowl filled with water in the bathtub, you could light that shit on fire and then watch it burn and then make sure it's safe because we don't want to be starting any fires. We need to be safe with our house and our fires. But making sure that you are being aware of your thoughts about your money, right? Your bank of your mind. What are you putting in the bank of your mind? What do you think about like the bank of your mind retirement? This is a good one too that I wrote in my book. How many positive deposits, or do you have a Roth IRA? Do you have a retirement plan? in the bank of your mind? What do you think about getting old? What do you think about money when you get old? Is it scarcity and scary, or big or abundant? What is it? So bringing our awareness to these thoughts that we're thinking about money is huge. It's so big, my friends, right? I'm not saying I have it all figured out, but I am noticing the shift. And I know that our thoughts are so powerful. And right, coming back to what I shared in the beginning, if you're thinking a thought, excuse me, and you don't want it to come true, choose a new thought. And if you struggle with choosing thoughts, excuse me, if you choose with thinking a thought, a positive thought, reach out and find a recording of someone that can speak some positive thoughts into your mind, because, right, your brain is like this recorder and it's constantly recording everything. And right, be mindful of your intake of social media, of your movies and your shows, right? I'm not saying that you watch a show and that comes true. That would be wacky and awful. Sometimes shows are great. I love a nighttime show. But again, like right before you're going to bed, if your mind is like playing the show, or if you're falling asleep to that show, your brain is going to be recording that. So maybe before you go to sleep, you could pop on some nighttime affirmations that could help reprogram your thoughts. It could help. Actually, when I was talking to my sister, it was really cool. It just popped up. I was like imagining back to when we have VHSs. It was like, be kind and rewind. So record your old VHS that you have on repeat, and then push the record button and choose new thoughts, because we don't have to keep those old shitty thoughts and old programmings that we have about money, because we are worthy of money. We are deserving of money. We are worthy of abundance of money, and we don't have to just settle for the crap that we've been fed our whole lives, because with new thoughts come new beliefs, and with new beliefs come new feelings. And with these new feelings, this is where manifesting comes, because you're in alignment, right, with your mind, your body, and your emotional state. And I know if this is the first time you've ever heard about this, it can seem like a lot. And I've been practicing with affirmations and manifesting for probably 7 years, which is crazy. And I remember the first few times I had no idea what was happening. And I think one of the first steps to anything is to just be open to the possibility of change. Be open to the possibility of something different in your financial health. Be open to the possibility of maybe something different in your career field. Like, I think of when I was doing hair, and I loved it for so many years, but I just like acclimated to that, and I became that. And I became so absorbed with what I looked like and with gossip. And I formed really amazing relationships with people that I loved. But for me, the environment became kind of like toxic and gossipy. And if I go back to those days and I think of my thoughts, they were super fucked up and super distorted and all just like yucky, mucky stuff. And I had to make this choice that, because I just didn't have that like love for what I was doing. But I know that anything that we're doing, like our job, doesn't define us. So you are not like, I was not a hairstylist. Like that wasn't who I was. That was what I did to connect with people, to grow. And it was such an incredible experience and opportunity to be aware of myself and the world around me, and to connect and make like these amazing relationships with my clients. And then it shifted because I became open to the possibility of something different. And then I did my yoga teacher training, which was something that I had so many self-limiting beliefs, and I had so much scarcity mindset, because I went from making a lot of money and I was doing great to not making money, being a stay-at-home mama, and then going to a yoga teacher training that I had to pay now like almost $400 a month and pay it in 6 months. And I just decided like, it's going to work. I'm trusting in the universe. I'm trusting that's just going to happen. Like, right? Have you ever had those moments when you just surrender and let go and you finally trust and then it works out? Like, ask yourself that. Like, has there been a moment that you maybe deemed as luck or a miracle that just happened? And maybe you didn't even realize that you allowed it to happen, but it happened because, right? Oh, we're going to pause. Maybe in that moment, you just like let go. And it's in those moments when you just let go, miracles can happen, right? I remember the first time I heard that, I thought, miracles can happen? They can happen to me, right? Like, is it a miracle that I'm here talking to you? It's a fucking miracle. I wrote a book and self-published it. That's a miracle. I would never think I could do this, but I did it because I stuck through. I persevered and I didn't give up. And the thing about manifesting in our thoughts, right, is we can think all the thoughts and do all the meditations. But if we come back, I say, to this reality, because when I meditate, I go deep and I like float away up into the ethers, and I almost have to like pull myself back down, like, come on down, Shelly. I have to remind myself that I am like a part of this earth. Ground myself. I put a mala, a rooting mala, like eat some food, drink some water, come back down. Because what we do on this life, like what we're doing today and tomorrow and what we did yesterday, that's like impacting the planet, our karma, our life's purpose. Even if you're a parent, a mama, that what I do today is impacting my kids and their future. Sometimes talking is hard. Impacting their future and how they see the world. And it's just like this mind, like blow up if you think about it that way. If you think about like, what is my imprint I want to leave on this planet? And I love that Gandhi quote, be the change you wish to see in the world. I'm having a hard time talking. S's sometimes are hard for me. Be the change you wish to see in the world, right? Whatever that means. And even if that's just like being nicer to yourself, being nicer to your spouse, being grateful for the home that you're living in, right? We can do little changes. And this was something when I lived in the city that was really challenging for me, was homeless people. I used to work downtown and there was homeless people on the corner everywhere. And I used to get really afraid of homeless people. And I listened to some podcast or a TED Talk, and it was talking about how homeless people just want to be acknowledged. Like, yes, they want money. They need money because they've exhausted all of their resources, but they want to be acknowledged. So instead of reaching for my purse and my wallet and giving money, I decided to connect and look the person in the eye and smile and just say hi, and just kept it at that. And it was really freaking hard. And now we live in the mountains and we don't have as many homeless people. But that was such a powerful practice. And it also allowed me to be so grateful for where I am in my life. Because there's always someone who is worse off than you. There's always someone who is 20 feet behind you, 30 feet behind you. And then there's always someone like 400 steps ahead of you. And right, we have to just show up where we are. So even on our financial health and our money journey, wherever you are with money, right? Even if you're in the negative or just waiting for that next paycheck, give gratitude for all of the freaking money that you have ever made contact with in your entire life. And this is kind of an interesting, kind of hard, I don't know if it's hard as much, but money is abundant. Like, think of nature, think of trees, think of when it snows, think of a lawn with like the millions of blades of grass, think of a beach with sand. If we can shift our awareness and the way we think about money, that money is an unlimited source. Like, money is an unlimited source, but we're so trained to think that money is so fixed. We have to put those rubber bands back on us, but I'm chewing through them because money is an unlimited source. And when you can kind of tap into that and realize that, that's when those supported miracles will happen. So many things. I'm so grateful for you, my friends. I'm so grateful for this space and this inspiration. And I'm just showing up as me, helping hold space for you, and perhaps even like helping bring some awareness to some different parts of yourself. Because I believe life is this journey, right? We're all in this like healing journey, this different journey. And we all have so many aspects of ourselves that we need healed. And it's not just like, I'm sick, I have a cold, I need to take vitamin C or whatever medications that you think. Like, healing is not just about like a pill and curing the illness. Like, healing is so much deeper. There's so much healing that needs to be done on an emotional and mental level that is so distorted in our society. It actually makes me feel crazy. And that's part of why I'm here, is just bringing awareness to our emotional state. And when we can do that, right, we can shift a lot. And that's why I do work with energy work too, because sometimes, all the times, we hold on to things on this like energetic level, right? We have all of this energy field around us, which that's another topic for another podcast. But I love this. I love this space. I'm so grateful for you showing up with me and just allowing me to be me. And I am here holding space for you to do the same and to be you. And again, to maybe wake up and notice. Maybe you can do a noticing of what you're thinking about money. That's your homework this week, right? Homework kind of sucks, but homework is the only way that we're going to help ourselves. And maybe if you're feeling a little open and expansive, you could try out these lovely meditations and affirmations that can help shift. They can help shift so many things. So we're just opening up these little doors. I love you. I'm grateful for you, my beautiful friends. And join me on Facebook, Shelly Bond, or on Instagram at Shelly Lovely. And so many good things. I love you. I'm grateful for you. And I will catch you back here next week.